All right, what's up, everyone? So, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 reasons why I feel that software engineering is the best job in the world. And that title may be clickbaity, but that is really how I feel. And, I do have a fair amount of employment experience in some other fields. So, I'm going to jump into those 5 reasons right away. But before I do, I just want to thank you for clicking on this video, taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I really appreciate it. And if I'm looking down, I'm just looking at the notes I have over here for reference to make sure I stay somewhat on track. Without further ado, let's begin. Now, the first reason I love software engineering is because the job revolves around problem solving. So when you find a problem and you become entrenched in that problem and you become determined to try to fix it, the time passes by so much quicker. There's not as much of an urge to say it's like an 8 hour workday, right? There's not as much of an urge to just like look at the clock and wait for those 8 hours to pass. If I find a problem and I'm entrenched in that problem, two, three, four, sometimes the whole workday will pass and it won't even feel like 8 hours have passed. It's because you were so focused on that problem, trying to find solutions, asking this person, asking that person, and that problem solving process just helped the time pass by so much quicker. So that's the first reason why I love it. It has a lot of problem solving, and I find that problem solving, for me at least, helps the time go by a lot faster. So it doesn't just feel like fighting the clock type of workday. Now, the second reason why I love software engineering is the independence that comes with it. Now, there's a lot of talk, especially in these online like marketers, right? Like you see the YouTube videos, the ad comes up, oh, I'm working from this beach, I'm living the laptop lifestyle. In my opinion, software engineering is the true laptop lifestyle. If I ever, so first off, of course, it's the laptop lifestyle in the sense that I work remote and a lot of tech companies are becoming more and more remote friendly. But also, let's say, I'm going through the workday and something happens in the middle of my workday that requires my attention right away, maybe like a family emergency or something else. 9 times out of 10, assuming, and mind you, if it's a serious family emergency, then I'll get the time off, no matter what. My company is very accommodating. But if it's like a small little thing I need to deal with, 9 times out of 10, I can take the time off midday. I just shoot my team a message, hey, team, I have to go deal with this. I'm going to be away from my desk for whatever, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And that's really all there is to it. No one really asks any more questions as long as I get my work done, and that's it. And that's so convenient. Like you can take time off whenever you need it to go deal with whatever other things that may be coming into your life. So that work life balance is phenomenal. On top of that, you can work out of at least at my company, and this policy differs by company to company. Some companies allow more days, some companies allow less days, but you can work out of country for up to 30 days, and that's what I've found to be the average. Usually more than 30, there's like tax implications or something. I don't understand it too deeply, right? But some companies do allow more than 30. And that's phenomenal as well because you can take the time to explore, you can travel, you can go to different places, right? And your job is not affected by that. So I could go right now, like I live in Canada, I could work out of Italy for 30 days, and I've never been to Italy. And like nothing on my job would change. I'm still logging in at 9 a.m. Italy time, logging out at 5 p.m. Italy time, and I'm getting this chance to like explore the world while also progressing my career, which I think is phenomenal. So again, the independence that comes with software engineering, I haven't found that in any other career. The third thing is the diversity of experience. So what I mean by that is if you're a software engineer and you're working at a tech company, like a company where their main product is tech, so like Google, Facebook, Amazon, for example, you can choose to do that. You can decide that, hey, I love tech. I love tech companies. I want to stay in tech companies. But say a few years down the road in your career, you find some other niche really interesting. So instead of tech, you start getting to hospitality, right? You're like, I really find it amusing how like hotels work, and I want to be more close to the action and be a bigger part of that industry. You can do that by becoming a software engineer at, say, the Marriott hotels or any other hotel, for example. Just about every industry hires software engineers. So you're not restricted to working for a tech company. In fact, you can work for just about any company you want. You want to work for an airline company, you can do that. You want to work for, be a developer at your local grocery store, you can do that. You want to work for a nonprofit, you can do that. software engineers are needed in every organization, and that means at any point, if you ever want to explore a different interest, just go work as a software engineer in that organization, and you get the opportunity to be close to the action and see what that niche is all about, while also improving your career at the same time. And there's a few more ways you can get diversity of experience. Now, software engineering, usually when people use that word, they're talking about, back end development, front end development, web development as a whole. But these tech skills, being technologically proficient, they transfer to a lot of other things as well. You can go into system administration, some other sort of IT field. You can go into cybersecurity. So within the domain of technology, there's a lot more specialities that you can go into. And having those software engineering skills and just being a technically proficient individual is going to be very valuable. So I feel like, this software engineering skills, they give you this ability to explore all these different arenas. So maybe you do software engineering for 5 to 6 years, and then 6 years down the line, you become like a cloud security expert, and you decide to venture into that. You can do that, and that's one of the opportunities here. So that's another thing that I love. Now, point number four, the money. So this is probably the most obvious one that you hear people talk about all the time. But yes, software engineers as a whole are very well paid. There is a website that collects where people basically to self-report the income that they're making or the offers that they got. It's called levels.fyi, and I'm gonna link it in the description, and you can check out the offers there for yourself. The only thing that I would kind of point out with levels is people who report their income on there, for the most part, it like tends to be from big tech companies. And big tech companies also pay the most. So the data on there is generally skewed towards those big tech salaries. If you want like a more of an average of what software engineers are making in general across your country or across your city, there do tend to be databases for that as well. So there's like government databases that will give you the average software engineer salary in your country. So that could be another resource that you can check out. And then levels, like I said, is more skewed towards big tech companies. So it'll show you the money that software engineers are making in those big tech companies. And the money gets better the better that you get. So as you become a more senior engineer, as you become principal, as you maybe move on to some other leadership position within this technology realm, the money is going to get better as well. Of course, your responsibilities will grow, but generally, I find that the better that you get, you are getting compensated fairly at every level. So I feel like the salary at the engineer level is quite fair, and as you progress, the money progresses at a very good kind of I guess like I can't think of the right word, right? But if you think of like graph, I think the progression is very very fair at each level. So yes, the money is good. Now, the fifth point is the demand, right? So the demand for software engineering just keeps on going up. And I'd like to read a quote. This is from the jobbank.gc.ca, so, Government of Canada's job bank. And this is what they say about software engineering. Quote, over 2016 to 2018 period, employment in this occupational group increased at a pace substantially higher than the average of all occupations, unquote. And another quote from the same source. Quote, the labor shortage conditions seen in recent years are expected to persist into the 2019 to 2028 period and could even become more acute as the projected number of openings is expected to be substantially larger than the projected number of job seekers over that period, unquote. And another quote that I'm going to read now is going to be from bls.gov, which is more US centric. And they say, quote, employment of software developers, QA analysts, and testers is projected to grow 22% from 2020 to 2030, much faster than the average of all occupations, unquote. So with all the information that we have at this point, we know that software engineering is here to stay, and the demand for software engineers keeps going up, and there is a labor shortage going on where there aren't enough software engineers to finish the job. So if you get into software engineering and you're a good engineer, there's definitely going to be job openings for you, at least according to what the data suggests so far. And yeah, those were the 5 points, right? Now, I do want to add one more. This is kind of like a bonus one, right? And that is, I find that in this field of the technology industry, there's a bigger focus on skills rather than your paper credentials. And here's what I mean by that. I found technology to be one of the more forgiving industries if you lack paper credentials. Now, by paper credentials, I mean, degrees, diplomas, etc. Like you can find so many examples of self-taught individuals who make it to top tier tech companies like, Google, Facebook, Amazon, whatever it may be. And even in the smaller companies, right? Because not everyone has aspires to work at big companies. Some people like to work at smaller companies. Even at the smaller companies, you see that. You see self-taught individuals. So if you're motivated enough and you know your stuff and you have the skills, companies are so much more forgiving about you not having the degree. And I haven't really seen this type of flexibility in any other industry. And I personally love it because at the end of the day, not everyone can afford to go to college, or not everyone is in a position, when they were younger where college was an option. Maybe they had to work right away to support their family, or something else. Some other responsibility came up and they couldn't go to college. So college isn't always a viable option for everyone. And the fact that that's willing to be overlooked is amazing in my opinion. And I really, really love that about this industry. And the fact of the matter is, say someone graduated from Harvard and you didn't go to college at all you really need to do is get the interview. And there are many ways to get the interview, right? Um, Probably the best way is to get it through a referral. But, so one caveat here. There is the kind of value of paper credits, right? So once a resume reaches a recruiter's desk, if they see, graduated from Harvard compared to this, he, doesn't have a degree, of course, on paper, the Harvard resume will hold more value. But you can overcome this by going to like technology meetups, connecting with more people. Maybe you connect with like a manager who's hiring, you talk to them, they like you, and then from there, they're gonna want to interview you. And at the interview stage, whether you graduated from Harvard, whether you graduated from MIT, or whether you graduated from no college at all, you're on the same playing field. At that point, the only goal is to pass the interview. And those who pass the interview at that point get the job. So that's a bonus I would throw in there. I love the, focus on the skills rather than the paper creds. And yeah, that's really the whole video. So that's my experience in the industry so far. Still, I've been working in this industry for not too long. It's been about a year and a half, and I'm honestly loving every minute of it. So I'm going to continue to release videos talking more about the industry, my journey, and helping other people also get into this career path. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, please comment, like, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if there's any sort of topic you want me to touch on, please let me know. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.